to you nearly live from the Beer to Whiskey Studios high atop Barley's Tap Room on Washington Street in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. It's sort of the beer capital of the upstate in South Carolina. I'm your host, Russ Heaps. This is an episode of Beer to Whiskey, and it's one of our Big John and 5 episodes in which my good buddy here, Big John Richards, our PhD honorary of craft beer, picks a beer and tells us a little bit about it. We talk about the history of the brewery and a little bit, sometimes, history of brewing itself. But before we dig into that, Big John, what do we want them to do?
Oh, we want them to like us. Not just to like us, but to click. And then subscribe.
With that out of the way, Big John, what do we have? Now, I know what we have because we just shot we shoot a bunch of these things at a time. We just shot a Beer 101 on lacing, which you can kind of see on this glass here. So we had this, but just to do things right. What do we have here, Big John?
Let's get all the details correct, though. I don't wait for the first time.
Yeah, it's...
We have Weihenstephan Hefe Weissbier, or Weihenstephan, depending on who you ask. Weihenstephan is actually the name of the brewery, but when you're talking about it as an adjective, like it's their Weissbier, you would say Weihenstephan.
So it has something to do with Belgium?
German. Yeah. So one of the very classic German-style, Bavarian-style Weissbiers, classic. You know, it's obviously very cloudy, unfiltered here. You're going to have your traditional banana clove notes going on, and that's all, of course, done with the yeast. You've got this beautiful lace, like we talked about, which is indicative of having some wheat in there. Got a little bit of that creamy wheat sweetness going on, but actually a very light, very easygoing, one of the most accessible beers in the world. This is a great beer we used to use as what we call a gateway beer.
Yeah.
Bring people in. If you
suck them into craft.
Exactly. If you're new to craft and don't know where to start, this is a great place to start. This beer in particular, but Weissbier in general, very accessible. It's a great summer beer. It drinks well here in the South, where it's hot 9 months out of the year.
Correct.
So this is just that light, refreshing little touch of sweetness without getting overwhelming. It's 5.4, so you're drinking right.
So it's fairly easy drinking.
Yep. With the macros,
right.
Their level there. So at 5.5, it's still enough to catch your attention. Remember back when Ice House was 5.5 and it was wearing everybody out?
Yikes.
Right. We've come a long way.
Yes, indeed. So I like this, and I'm not a big wheat beer drinker.
There's a lot of, as you journey through wheat, a lot of the American breweries don't do this exact thing, and it's not wrong. Nobody's doing, well, some people are doing wrong things, but
by and large,
it's not wrong. It's it's just depending on how you want your beer to taste and what you think your people are going to want. The traditional German style is really this. Like I said, very light bodied with that clove in the finish to dry things up, banana up front and in your nose, but that little creamy wheat sweetness, and very accessible. Some of the Americans get citrusy, get a little more hoppy and a little bitter. They might dry it out and attenuate it a little harder, catch a little bit, push it up towards that 6% mark because they think people want more alcohol in their beer. Again, none of this is wrong. It's all about how you want your beer to taste. But this is classic Hefeweizen.
Do you know off the top of your head is this a year-round beer?
This is one of their, yes, very much so.
So you should be able to find these.
I would say maybe it's their flagship, but yes, you should be able to find this. They're certain markets around the country. You can find this in grocery stores. It's that widespread.
So obviously it's canned or bottled or something.
Canned and bottled. Canned maybe not. Bottled, I'm used to seeing the sort of 18-ounce.
Okay.
German style, that sort of tall, slim, slender bottle. It's not quite a 22-ounce bomber. And I've seen it in 6-packs as well, certain places as well. You can buy the singles or you can buy the 6-packs of 11.5s,
Okay.
335 milliliter
Okay.
bottles, whatever. But it's pretty widely available nationwide, worldwide, really. They claim to be the world's oldest brewery.
Is that right?
Some other people, I think, lay claim to it as well. It's really hard to say.
I thought it was packs.
Yeah, right. They're the world's oldest. No, I can't go there. I can't go there. If these guys trace it back to 1040, which is pre-Norman invasion for those of you who know.
Yeah. Well, that is a long time.
Yeah, that's a good 1,000 years of
Bottling
brewing
was
in the
probably a little
world.
different back then. I'm
Right?
thinking.
Yeah, I would think so. Whole different ball game.
Yeah. Anything else?
Covered the basics here. I believe we should send these people out to get some of their own.
I think that's a fine idea.
Yeah.
So with that,
Here's to it.
Big John, thank you. Thanks to Barley's.
Cheers.
And see you next time.